What was the teaching? They said the material universe is illusory. Well, we say that too, but dear friends, don't make a too great step into the false direction by saying everything is an illusion, so what? Well, it is an illusion, but as such, it exists. Did you ever think about that? You say your body is an illusion, never mind, well, take a knife and stab yourself, you'll see. Or take a needle, let's not be that harsh. Take a needle, stick yourself. Oh, the illusion hurts, right? Don't underestimate the illusion, dear friends. Don't follow those false gurus who say, oh, body is an illusion, let's let go. Or there are even some gurus who say body is an illusion. Eat, drink, have sex, do what you want, get drunk, whatever. It's just an illusion. Well, that illusion will haunt you. In your next life, it will cling to you. It will cling to you again. And it will become more and more real. So how can we detach from that illusion? By really knowing what it is. This is why we study here together the Book of Light. And, additionally, pari passu, as Blavatsky says so wonderfully, parallel to it, so to speak, through meditation. What is reality, dear friends? What is reality? Can it be found in the perishable? If it would be there, we would have found it a long time ago, because we are millions of years, we are trillions and zillions of years, so to speak. Many Mahamanvantaras in the perishable. Did we find it? We didn't find it, and I'll tell you something now. Because we think that the truth and the real is in the perishable, this is the cause of reincarnation. We come to that later. It's not only your desire for life, which is the cause for reincarnation, of course. According to your desire, you come back. Some may argue, well, I'm not now in a situation in which I don't want to be. Never mind, you created it by your karma. About that all later. But there's another aspect to it, and this is our urge. We look for the eternal, for the imperishable. Now, what brought us then in the first place here? It is the absence of knowledge. Ignorance, a bit more unfriendly said. Ignorance about our true, imperishable, immortal nature, the core. This is why the Book of Light is there. It's the boat. You can get in. You can get on the other side. You can also return from it, by the way, and can then teach everybody, I was on the other side, I can tell you how it is there, and make your life easier. So, yes, the material universe is illusory, but don't underestimate it. What is ether? See, the Book of Light teaches ether is transient, is how can you say, fine, almost non-material. This is one side of the truth. The other side is actually, it is the most full material thing. Because, you see, there are sometimes in the Book of Light things that seem to contradict, but they are just paradoxes. Everywhere is ether. The entire universe is filled with ether. Einstein said we don't need ether, or there is no ether, said Einstein, because we don't need it. Well, we may need it or not, it's there, Mr. Einstein. There's actually nothing else but ether, in more or less condensed form. Or, let's now be careful, cautious, in more or less different appearances of vibration. It's all ether, wherever you look. There's no free space in the whole universe. Just because our limited senses cannot see that ether, we will see it sooner or later. Doesn't mean it's not there. We will talk about later about the ways to see that ether is even nowadays possible. It is sort of aura also. The aura of your body is already the etheric prolongation. You can see it by astral or auric photography. It exists already. So it becomes more and more visible, more and more ether is poured into our solar system. for certain reasons. We are on the ascending arc. Why did the Stoics, for instance, taught that ether is denser than the most dense material thing and fuller of it? Because material thing is just a subdivision of ether, we said already, full of holes, full of interrupting structures, while ether per se is it's like an ocean covering everything. Sometimes there are waves, but it is a substance, basic substance, deriving from where? Mula Prakriti. Dear friends, when you don't understand something I say, don't even think about it. We will return to it over and over again, and you will understand by question and answer. If you have questions, don't you worry, they will be all answered. I represent here also the questioner. What is the real? Some say it's God, But what's that? Just a word. God derives from the Jewish Yod, which is a letter of the Jewish alphabet, and is actually a symbol of the male genital. So, that's how they degrade God to a genital, making a man of it. So man can rule over woman. All this insanity, dear friends, will end with the Book of Light. Let's see, other ancient, and we will come to that, because you may say, you Christians and Muslims, God is a creator. You are right and wrong. And you will see how and why. What the term Elohim really means. And so forth, you see? And when you hear that, when you know that, you don't have at all to leave your teaching. You just continue to be Muslim and Christian, but now with the right understanding, which unites you. You see, now you have the wrong understanding about your religions. This is why this separates you. Separation lays at the core of each crime. So therefore, separation is the feeling of being separated in teaching, in thought, and whatever, leads to the religious wars. And it karmically repeats itself. As the Christian went to the cross wars, now we have the Muslims responding karmically, and so forth and so on. Dear friends, we from the Book of Light stay aside. We let them do what they want to do. It's their karma. But if some of them have suffered already enough, I think they will be ready for the Book of Light. Now how do for instance, the Upanishads, I mentioned them, they have also that teaching that we come from one source, you see, driven by own desire. Driven by own desire. And they compare it in the Brahmanical teachings it's like a son or a man who slept in his own house and goes to another village. And he knew he comes from this house. And then they ask, why then do people not know that they come from the Sat? And you see, the Sat is the monad in manifestation. Now, the Brahmins, in a couple of days ago, Brahmin attacked me verbally and said, you have the wrong teaching. We come from Brahman. I said, we come from where Brahman comes. No, we come from Brahman. You see, there is no contradiction. When your father, your parents are in a house, and you are born in that house, and they go to the street, and they ask you, or somebody may ask, where does the child come from? The parents say, now this is now just a parable, it does not be taken too far. Where do you come from? Where we come? This child comes from us. No, it comes from the house at that moment. Yes, originally it comes from the parents. See? But if you trace that back, where do the parents come from? We teach that every spirit is anupapadaka, parentless. Parentless. self-born, always there, never been created, manifesting periodically. That gives another picture. So yes, we come from Brahman, but we come with Brahman from the source, from Para Brahman. This is a truth that does not contradict the teaching of the Brahmins. It just asks them go a step further back. What is the fundamental identity of all souls with the universal oversoul, so to speak? Well, this is the teaching of the Book of Light. And so each soul is like a pilgrim on its journey through material world. What is Maya? We have to come to that. It's the illusion I was talking about. But as an illusion, it exists, dear friends. It can be very painful. This Mayavic illusion enters in all finite things. And it makes you being attached to it by touch, taste, sound, by seeing it, by feeling it, by smelling it. You know? Now, if that attachment becomes too strong, you suffer. Latest, when it is taken away, it has been taken away from you, ripped away from you. The more you cling, the more you suffer. Try that in an experiment. Take both of your hands, put them in the fingers, and close your fingers, both. And then try to rip them apart. Ah! It hurts. This is the pain of somebody who is clinging to transient life and thinking that is all there is. And at death, I was sitting in the rooms where the people die. We say hospice, you know, in Los Angeles, in Germany too. Lanu, I don't want to die. I said, you don't die. You love life? Yes, I love life. I say, let go. It will be given again to you. But how do I know? I said, by your desire. You are here in the first place because you wanted to be here. I had a horrible life. I didn't want to be here. I said, that was the result of your karma. Because you did things that you wanted, but you didn't. You were not aware of the consequences. They are taught by you now. Why don't I remember of past life? I say, what a silly question. Do you remember the time when you were in the womb of your mother? No. See, according to your logic, you weren't there. Let go. And give good thoughts at the moment of departure from your body. You will come back. The more you thrive for it, the more you will come back. But I tell you something. The more you dive into material world, the more you will suffer. And that's your lesson that you will learn. And they died. And they died. Great Chauhan, help us all. Now, what is that Maya? This is that illusion I was talking about, you know. Nothing is permanent. What is permanent? Well, one thing is, because it was uncreated. This is the absolute existence